Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah and today I want to talk about the steps I took to transfer universities. To make it easier on you guys, I have broken these steps down into 4. Obviously there are more than 4 steps that you take to transferring universities, but just for the purpose of this video I thought it would be easier to follow. So just a little bit of background. If you've watched my university experience video, you will know that I went to the University of Kent to study sports sciences, and then I transferred to the University of Hertfordshire where I studied sport exercise science with a year abroad. In that video I also mentioned why I decided to leave and gave you guys a list of pros and cons. As I mentioned that in that video, I don't want to go over it again in this video to bore those who have seen the other videos. So if you want to know why, go and check that video out. Okay, so the first step I took when I knew I wanted to leave the university was speaking to a member of staff. I spoke to my tutor about how I was feeling and that I really was actually considering leaving. So speaking to my tutor, for me personally, wasn't that helpful. It kind of just justified the reasons as to why I was choosing to leave, rather than giving me some advice that would make me feel more comfortable to stay. But in other situations, I can imagine speaking to a member of staff. They may have seen or had someone experience what you are going through currently. They could help you, whether that be like homesickness or feeling lonely. They could tell you the path you could take or what you could do in that situation to make you feel a little better and feel more part of a community, really. So that was like my first big step. First thing I must say is, while doing my research for this video, I found that if you know very early on, like I did, I knew pretty much as soon as I got there that I didn't want to be there. If you know pretty early on that you don't want to be at that university, there is a chance that you can still go through clearing and move somewhere else. I think for the first year was a good option for me. It may not be for everybody, but I ultimately decided if I stay for the first year, I'm going to transfer straight into the second year. If I'm transferring out, I refuse to start over again. So when it came to that, I moved on to the next step, which was researching universities. So when it came to researching universities, I had a little bit of a struggle because I didn't do A-levels. I did BTEC sports. Despite my grade coming out with the 3 distinction stars, it was still a little bit of a struggle because some universities either don't like BTECs or they won't take certain BTECs. It depends on the title. So typically if you're going to transfer and you did a BTEC, rather than an A-level, it's best to send your course name to the university so they can let you know whether they actually approve that, like that particular course, rather than you wasting your time and applying and then finding out they won't take you because they don't like the course you did before. They also look at your first year grades, so it's important to get good grades in your first year when you are trying to transfer. For me, the universities wanted me to get a 2-1. I got a 2-1 in my first year, and that was helpful for me because I also needed a 2-1 to remain at Kent. Well, not necessarily to stay there, but I needed a 2-1 to continue getting certain things I was receiving by being at Kent. So it was just made sense to get that either way. So while researching the universities, I looked at their modules, locations, and like what other people had said about them, just general reviews. I would say look at the first year modules. Don't just look at the modules that you could potentially be studying once you go there, because some universities, if their modules are completely way off from the modules you are currently taking, they may not let you transfer into the second year because you won't know what the other students know. So it's easiest to transfer to a university where they're doing similar things to you, so then you have a higher chance, I would say, of actually getting into the second year to enroll rather than starting afresh. So the next thing I'd say is contact the university to see if the university will actually accept transfer students. You don't want to get through the whole process of applying and then find out we don't take transfer students. So it's pretty common sense, I suppose, to search that up pretty early on. I decided to do a mixture of both emailing and calling up universities, whether I spoke to the admin team or the course leader. It doesn't really matter as long as you get an answer and find that out. So after that, I found out that they actually do accept transfer students. I decided I was going to go to open days. If you didn't go to open days for your first university, it's obviously very wise that you do this time, because you want to make sure that you kind of avoid anything that's making you feel a certain way at your current university. You avoid feeling that at your new university, when I went on open days, I was looking for how do I feel being here, not like just location wise, but like, does the university make me feel good? What type of people come here? Like, are the people friendly that are here? What are the transport connections? Because I don't want to be somewhere which doesn't have good connections with cities and stuff. So that was big for me because I'm a city girl, so cities are definitely a place for me. And I also had to look about what are like the graduate prospects and so on and so forth, just the general things basically. After that, the next main step is to start a UCAS account. So when you enroll in your first year, you obviously apply for a UCAS. The same happens when you're transferring universities. It's just when you're filling out your form, rather than saying you're willing to like start afresh, you select that you want to enroll straight into the second year of the degree. When you do that, obviously you've got to ask for a reference. You can ask like whoever wrote your reference for you to enroll the first time, but I would advise you ask your tutor or just a member of staff that's currently teaching you at the university, because they will see how you're studying at a university level opposed to those who knew you from before. So I got my tutor to write me a reference. I was a little worried about him writing me a reference considering I had been there not even a few months at that point in time. I was worried that he wouldn't know me enough to write me a reference, but I think he wrote me a general reference that helped me get through and just basically based off what other teachers were saying about me in their classes. So got that reference done, and I also had to write another personal statement. I was glad that I still had a copy of my old personal statement so I could refer to it, but in this new personal statement I had to show a different level of growth. Obviously I couldn't just say the same things in a different order that I did in my first one. I had to stress why I wanted to leave. So I said I wanted to get more than just a degree. I wanted to go to a place that would allow me to go on a study abroad year, join societies if I chose to join societies, and just like try and aim for more. And I was able to do that, so ultimately it was a great choice for me. And another thing is why this new particular university. Sorry if you keep noticing I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes here and I just don't want to forget anything for you guys. But as I was saying, why that particular university, whether it be location, has those extra things you felt like you were missing in those past university, or like the modules maybe attracted you to the new university, but make sure you stress that in the personal statement so they are completely aware. The last step is letting your university know you're leaving. So contact them, maybe that means like the admin team, or speak to your tutor who you got to do the reference, letting them know that you are still going ahead with your idea to leave and that you have a place in a new institution and you're going there. So you need to talk to your administration team to get your transcript from your current university sent to your new university. That's basically what depends on whether they will take you for sure. I had unconditional offers because of the grades I had at the time, but you got to go from there basically. And when you're speaking to the admin team, also make sure that they arrange to send you your transcript and your certificate to your home address, so when you do go to your new university you can take it with you. I suggest you do it very early on. Take it with you to your new administration team at your new university and get them to photocopy it, scan it, whatever they choose to do, and put it into your record, so when it comes to your graduation period time, you know that you don't have to stress that someone could turn around and be like, but you didn't complete your first year, because it's obviously on record. So when I got my transcript at the end of my degree, in my transcript it said that first year had that been approved that I completed it elsewhere. So it was a stress off my shoulders because I kept having like worries that it would get to graduation and they'll be like, oh, but you didn't do first year, and I'm like, but I did. So it's just knowing that you get that out of the way, do that right away, I'd say. And yeah, other than that, I'd say just enjoy your time at your new university, and hopefully all the worries you had at your old institution are gone because you found somewhere that's more suited to you. I'll catch you guys in the next video.